And one important aspect of your success is that you guys, as you said, are focusing on becoming the home audio system, mixing beautiful, iconic Swedish minimalistic design, sustainability, and transparency. But there's another aspect, and that is that the customers want high quality. So how have you worked with the audio quality to be able to offer the best speaker experience for your user? And how is it compared to your competitors? Or is it even possible to offer a best audio experience? And what is that?
The best audio experiences are typically people just saying, like, when I was at this concert, you know, they had electric goosebumps all over their body, and some people are able to reproduce that in their homes, and ultimately music experiences are subjective, and it comes down to what parents played you as a baby and your DNA, and it's similar to taste in that sense, that like even the best 3-star Michelin restaurant is going to have slightly different appreciations of different courses. But there is also obviously like real physics and science in creating sound waves, and I've been nerding out on that quite a lot since starting this company. I didn't come from an audiophile background. I don't have any degrees in that, so I still approach it with kind of like an ignorant approach, where I'm sort of maybe making a lot of like breaking a lot of rules. But I think the basics we had is like, what do we want the speaker to do? So with the large speaker, like I mentioned, it was like getting people off the couch. I have the smaller one here. That's for a smaller apartment, or in my case, I typically I brought it in from the kitchen. But it's louder than my kids and the dishwasher if I listen to something that inspires me to cook well. So it fills that function in my life. Really like listening to like my favorite podcasts on it. So that acoustic volume is good enough for a small mid-sized room, and this one is a slightly larger room, and maybe up to the level of disturbing your neighbors as well.
I was going to say that. What is the neighbors going to say? Because once you have a great speaker, it's not just hearing it, you know, the walls have ears.
And I think that's a lot of systems today, to be honest, are over designed. You shouldn't put like one of those big woofers in an apartment. It's not, that's not like how we need, like that's not how you know, apartment life is, unfortunately. And this one, the acoustic volume here, it's we still want this to sort of, if you gather a few friends around the campfire, we still want it to be audible and clear to everyone. So we tried to make a big 360 sound out of a quite small form factor to increase the feeling you get from this. We made a passive radiator here in the bottom. That's the kind of woofer, and this is a closed sealed volume of the glass to drive those bigger sound waves. So it is a lot of acoustic design that goes into something like, and make it look like a natural thing. So the dome shape here is to spread the sound in that direction, or omnidirectional. And then like I mentioned, like the transparent, so the first step is the science of sound is basically you need certain volumes and certain sizes and stuff of the drivers to move sound waves in different frequencies. The second part is what is referred to as tuning, which is a really big part of modern speakers, because all sounds go through a digital processor, and that processor can do all sorts of magic. Basically, that's how a thin laptop can sound as good as it does. It does sound pretty good to most people. To people like me that works with speaker, it sounds pretty flat and shallow. But how digital sound works is basically, I don't know if you've ever seen a sound file that kind of looks like a Christmas tree, has a lot of spikes up and down. To make that file smaller and go through your internet quicker, they kind of cut those tree branches down and compress it.
Compress it, right? Compress
the sound file, exactly. And I think the first generation of speakers that were made for digital use cases, they had a lot of what we call like the Beats by Dre sound, because because you compact that, you lose the high end and the low end. So they tweaked up and amped that up a lot. So you hear a lot of oomph, oomph, oomph from a file. The problem now is that since we have higher levels of streaming, even crazier levels with 5G coming in, the sound files are getting much better than CD quality. So that mentality is no longer accurate. And from the start, we were tuning for this more transparent sound range. So now our speakers are, you know, perfectly aligned with that trend. And a lot of musicians appreciate the large speaker for that. And Swedish artists like Steve Angelo plays their studio songs on this in their home to sort of hear a good natural reproduction of what a normal system might do. And I think we're in a few other Swedish artists' home setups as well. So that's a good testament that we are actually achieving that level of sound performance.